Okay, so for this question, the first thing you're going to do is you got to pull out the GCF, right? So they all have a 2 in common, they all have one x in common, and they all have one y in common. So then when you pull out your 2xy, you're left with x squared plus 3xy plus 2y squared. Now, if you're doing this without using the trial and error method, think about the rules for the multiply and add method. So if you are figuring out what you multiply, so you were looking for two things that multiply to give you the first and last term, right? So x squared times 2y squared is going to give you 2x squared y squared, right? And you're looking for two things that multiply to give you that, but add to give you the middle term, which is 3xy. So if you ignore the variables for just a moment and just think about what are factors of 2 that would add to give you 3, right? So that's going to be 2 and 1, right? So the coefficients that you're dealing with are going to be 2 and 1. So if you think about this, you have this xy there, so if you think about being able to combine 2 and 1, they have to have xy attached to them. Otherwise, they're not like terms, right? So if you think about it, 2xy times 1xy gives you 2x squared y squared, and then 2xy plus 1xy gives you 3xy, right? So these are your middle terms. So now I'm going to go back to my problem, and I'm going to just take this part here, okay? This 2xy is your GCF at the end, so that's just got to stay on your answer, so we'll deal with that in a minute. So now I'm going to break up this stuff in the parentheses to say x squared plus 2xy plus xy, and you can write 1xy there if you want, plus 2y squared. So now what I'm doing with that is now you take the first two terms and you pull out the GCF. Well, they both have one x in common, so then you're left with x plus 2y inside your parentheses. And then you pull out an x in the second set of parentheses, a y in the second set of parentheses, because they all have a y in common, and then you're left with x plus 2y there. Now you have this x plus 2y that both of these terms have in common, so that's one of your factors, x plus 2y, and then what's left is x plus y. And so that's how you factor that part. And then you have to remember that we pulled out this 2xy from the very beginning, so that was your GCF. And there is your final answer. And if you think about it, if you're thinking about trial and error, I know you said you didn't do this problem with trial and error, but if you think about doing this with trial and error, remember FOIL, x times x is going to give you that x squared, right? This x times y gives you that xy, and then 2y times x gives you the 2xy, and then 2y times y squared gives you the 2y squared that we had at the end, right? And the two middle terms add to give you 3xy. Hope that helps. Let me know if it doesn't.